Are you tired of knowing English but freezing the moment you need to speak? You studied hard. You spent hours listening to podcasts, watching shows, reading articles. You can understand most of what you hear, but the moment someone asks you a question in English, something locks. A pause, a search, a slow, painful translation happening somewhere behind your eyes. And by the time the words finally come, the moment is already gone. This is not a vocabulary problem. This is not a grammar problem. This is a thinking problem. Most people who study English treat it like a subject. They open a book. They watch a lesson. They close everything and go back to their lives, thinking in their own language, feeling in their own language, arguing with themselves in their own language. Then they sit down to study English again the next day. And they wonder why, after years of hard work, English still feels slow, still feels heavy, still feels like something that lives outside them, not inside. Your brain speaks the language it lives in, not the language it studies. If your thoughts run in your mother tongue all day long, English will always be a visitor in your mind. It will never move in. It will never feel natural. English will stay foreign, something you visit rather than somewhere you live. But there is a way to change that. And it does not require more textbooks. It does not require more apps. No more time sitting at a desk trying to concentrate. It requires a decision about how you use the hours you already have. This lesson is for English learners who are ready to think, not just study. Today, we are going to look at 3 techniques you can use anywhere at any time: in the shower, on the way to work, waiting in line, eating lunch alone. These techniques have names: narration, labeling, inner monologue, and together they will do something no grammar book ever could. They will move English from something you study to something you think. By the end of this video, something in you will shift, not because you learned more words, but because you made a different choice about how your mind spends its day. If that is what you want, subscribe right now. This channel is for people who are serious. Don't translate, just think. 6 lessons, 1 shift. Let's begin. Lesson 1: the translation trap. You know this feeling. You are in a conversation. Someone asks you something simple. And instead of answering your brain, it finds the answer in your language first. Then it looks for the English words. Then it checks if the words are correct. Then it tries to say them out loud. 4 steps, all in less than 2 seconds. And it still feels too slow. That process has a name. It is called the translation trap. And it is the single biggest reason why people who know English still cannot speak English freely. Here is what most people miss. The problem is not the translation itself. The problem is the habit behind it. Every time your brain translates, it is walking the same path, the same road it has walked 1,000 times before. From your mother tongue to English, your mother tongue to English over and over. And every time it walks that road, the road gets deeper, more automatic, harder to leave. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Your brain is not fixed. It changes based on what you repeat. The thoughts you think most often become the paths your brain takes without asking. And right now, for most of you, the most traveled path in your mind runs through your mother tongue first. That is not a failure. That is just what happens when you learn a language in a classroom and then go home to live in a different one. Kobe Bryant understood something about this. Not about language, but about the same principle. He did not just practice basketball. He practiced the exact movements he wanted to happen automatically in a game. The footwork, the pivot, the release point on his shot. He repeated them thousands of times, not so he would remember them. He repeated them so he would not have to think about them. So they would just happen. Build this with English. Not more vocabulary, not more grammar rules. Automatic paths, roads your brain takes before it even decides to. The learners who translate are not slower or less intelligent. They are just walking an old road. People who think in English have built a new one. And the only way to build a new road in your brain is to walk it again and again on purpose until it becomes the road your brain chooses on its own. You don't have a vocabulary problem, you have a habit problem. And habits do not change because you understand them. They change because you replace them, one small action at a time, one moment at a time, starting in the small, ordinary parts of your day that you never thought to use for English. That is exactly what the next 3 lessons are about. But first, understand this. The translation trap is not something you can think your way out of. You cannot decide in your head to stop translating. You have to practice your way out. You have to give your brain a new path to walk so many times that it forgets to take the old one. The work begins right now. Lesson 2, narration. Close your eyes for a moment. Actually, don't. You're listening. But imagine this. You wake up. The alarm goes off. You reach over and turn it off. You sit up slowly. The room is a little cold. The light outside is gray. You put your feet on the floor. Now say that. In English, in your head. Right now, as it happens. That is narration. This technique breaks the cycle. Narration means running a quiet commentary on your life as it happens. Not out loud, not perfectly, not in complete sentences. Just a steady, simple stream of English describing what you see, what you do, what is happening around you. Like a calm voice in a documentary about your own day. The alarm goes off. I reach for my phone. The floor is cold. I need coffee. The kitchen smells like yesterday. I fill the kettle. I wait. Simple, slow, imperfect, and more powerful than any grammar exercise you have ever done. Hear me on this. Your brain does not care if your narration is beautiful. It does not care if every sentence is correct. What it cares about is repetition. Every time you narrate a moment in English, you are walking that new road we talked about. You are choosing English before your mother tongue gets a chance to step in. And over time, that choice becomes faster, then automatic, then invisible. There was a woman named Maya. She had studied English for 5 years. She could read articles, she could follow movies, she could pass tests. But when she needed to speak, she froze, always. She was stuck in translation every single time. One morning, almost by accident, she started narrating her breakfast in English, not dramatically, not as an exercise. She was just bored and she tried it. I am making eggs. The pan is too hot. I burned the edge. I don't care. She kept doing it. Not every day at first, but most days. On the bus, in the shower, walking to the shop. 3 months later, she met a colleague from another country at work. They spoke for 20 minutes. And halfway through the conversation, Maya realized something. She had not translated once. The words had just come. Not perfectly, but they had come. Narration does something no vocabulary list can. New words are not what it gives you. It wakes up the words already sleeping inside you. Start small. Choose one part of your day and narrate it. Just that one part. Your morning routine is perfect. You do the same things every day, which means you get to practice the same sentences, the same words in the same order every single day. Repetition without effort. Fluency without a textbook. Walk to the bathroom. I wash my face. The water's cold. I look in the mirror. I look tired. I need sleep. Or coffee. Probably both. Say it. Not out loud if you don't want to. Just in your head. In English. Don't translate. Just think. Your brain learns what it practices. Give it something worth practicing. Give it your life. Lesson 3. Labeling. Here is a question. How do you feel right now? Take a second. Don't rush. Most people, when they ask themselves that question, get a vague answer. Fine. Tired. Okay. Not great. The feeling is there, but the words are blurry. The emotion exists, but it has no shape. Now try again, but this time go further. Are you focused, slightly restless? A little distracted, but still here. Maybe a bit curious about where this is going. Maybe a small part of you is already thinking about what you will do after this video ends. That second answer is labeling. This is the technique that rewires how your mind works in English. Labeling means giving a precise name to what you see, what you feel, and what is happening around you. Not a general word, a specific one. Not bad, but frustrated. Not good, but relieved. Not busy, but overwhelmed. Not happy, but quietly satisfied. The difference matters more than you think. Pause for 1 second. There is research that shows when you name an emotion with a specific word, the emotional charge in your brain actually decreases. You feel it less intensely because your mind has found a container for it. Psychologists call this affect labeling. You do not need to remember that term. Just remember, this naming your feelings gives you power over them. And naming them in English gives you two things at once: emotional intelligence and language fluency at the same time. Start with objects. Look around you right now. Not just a cup, a ceramic mug with a chipped handle. Not just a table, a wooden table with scratches near the corner. Not just shoes, worn out sneakers with a loose lace on the left one. Train your eyes to see in English. Train your mind to reach for the specific word instead of the general one. Then move to actions. You are not just walking. You are rushing. You are shuffling. You are pacing. You are strolling. Same basic movement. 4 completely different meanings. Then move to feelings. This is where labeling becomes something larger than language practice, because most people, even in their own mother tongue, live with blurry emotions. They feel something heavy and call it stress. They feel something sharp and call it anger. But underneath those big, blunt words are dozens of more specific feelings waiting to be named: restless, uncertain, resentful, hopeful but scared, proud but exhausted. People who say, "I feel bad," live in a fog. People who say, "I feel restless, uncertain, a little afraid of what comes next," live in clarity. They understand themselves better. They communicate better. And in English, they think better. If this is opening something in your mind right now, subscribe. There is more coming. This channel exists for people who want to build something real. The more words you put on your world, the more world you see. Label the mug on your desk. Label the feeling in your chest. Label the sound outside your window. Label the mood of the room you are sitting in right now. Not perfectly, not in full sentences, just one word at a time. The right word, the specific one. Don't translate, just think. Lesson 4, inner monologue. Narration describes what is happening around you. Labeling names what you see and feel. But the third technique goes deeper than both of them. It goes inside. Inner monologue is the conversation you have with yourself. The running voice in your head that never stops. The one that comments on everything, questions everything, argues with everything. You already have one. You have had one your entire life. The question is not whether you have an inner voice. The question is what language it speaks. Right now, for most of you, That voice speaks your mother tongue. It wakes up with you in the morning. It judges the traffic. It replays conversations from 3 days ago. It tells you that you should have said something different. It makes plans, changes, plans, doubts, plans, all in your first language, all day, every day. The most powerful language teacher you will ever have lives inside your head. And most people never think to use it. There are 3 levels to inner monologue in English. Start at the level that fits you. Move up when you are ready. The first level is self-reminder. Simple instructions you give yourself throughout the day. Focus. Just finish this one thing. Don't check your phone yet. Take a breath. Keep going. Short, direct, no full sentences needed. Just English words landing in your head instead of your own language. The second level is self-questioning. You stop and ask yourself something. Then you answer. What do I actually want for lunch? Should I send that message now or wait? What is the most important thing I need to do today? Why do I feel heavy right now? The question and the answer, both in English. A small private dialogue with yourself that happens a dozen times a day. The third level is self-debate. This is where English stops being a language you practice and becomes a language you think in. For real. You take a problem, a decision, a feeling, and you sit with it in English. Part of me wants to quit this, but the other part knows exactly why I started. I am tired, yes, but tired and done are not the same thing. I have been here before. I moved through it before. I will move through it again. Think about that. When you can argue with yourself in English, when you can doubt yourself in English, when you can comfort yourself in English, you are no longer translating. You are living inside the language. Viktor Frankl survived years in a concentration camp during the Second World War. In his book, he wrote about the one freedom that could never be taken from a human being: the freedom to choose how you respond to what happens to you. Not what happens, not the circumstances, only the response. And that response, he said, begins in the inner world, in the voice inside. You have that same freedom right now, not about what happens around you, but about what language happens inside you. You can choose the voice in your head. You can train it. You can slowly, deliberately, day by day, make it speak English. When you argue with yourself in English, you are no longer a learner. You are a thinker. And thinkers do not translate. They just think. Lesson 5. Habit stacking. You do not need more time. You need a better system. This is the part where most people get it wrong. They hear about narration, labeling, and inner monologue, and they think, I need to set aside time for this. I need a schedule. I need to be in the right mood. So they wait for a perfect moment that never quite arrives, and nothing changes. James Clear wrote about this in his book on habits. He called it habit stacking. The idea is simple. You already have habits, things you do every day without thinking. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you make coffee, you commute, you eat lunch, you wind down before sleep. These habits are anchors. They happen whether you are motivated or not, whether you feel like it or not. They just happen. So don't add English to your day. Attach it to what is already there. Let me make this simple. When your alarm goes off in the morning before you check your phone, spend 2 minutes narrating, not out loud. In your head, I open my eyes. The room is dark. My body feels heavy. I don't want to move, but I am moving anyway. 2 minutes, that is all. Before the day has a chance to pull you somewhere else. When you brush your teeth, label. Look at everything in front of you and give it an English name. Toothbrush, toothpaste, the small crack in the mirror, the sound of water running, the feeling of being half asleep, one word at a time, 2 minutes. You are already standing there. Use it when you commute, whether you walk, drive, or sit on a bus run, your inner monologue. Not about anything dramatic, just whatever is actually on your mind. In English, what is on my mind right now? Where do I need to be in 2 hours? Why does my chest feel tight this morning? The commute already belongs to your mind. Give your mind an English direction. When you eat lunch alone, narrate the meal. Label what you taste, what you feel, what the room around you sounds like. This soup is too salty. The table is wobbly. I am hungrier than I thought. I feel better now than I did an hour ago. When you lie down before sleep, run a short inner monologue of the day. What happened today? What did I do well? What do I wish I had handled differently in English? Just a few quiet minutes before your eyes close. 5 moments, all already in your day. None of them require extra time. None of them require a book or an app or a classroom. They only require a decision to use what you already have. People who wait for a perfect study session wait forever. People who steal 5 minutes inside an ordinary moment build something real. Don't translate, just think. That is the system. Small, consistent, attached to what already exists, and more powerful than any hour you ever spent drilling vocabulary lists. Lesson 6, the commitment. You have heard the techniques now. Narration, labeling, inner monologue, habit stacking. You understand what they are. You understand why they work. And some part of you is already thinking, yes, I will try this, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe when things settle down a little. Stop right there. That voice is the same voice that has kept you studying English for years without becoming fluent. That voice is patient and reasonable and completely in the way. Because this does not work when you try it. It only works when you commit to it. David Goggins does not talk about motivation. He talks about discipline, about doing what needs to be done when you feel nothing, when you are tired, when it is inconvenient, when the easier choice is right there in front of you. He says that motivation is a lie, that you cannot wait for it, that the only thing that moves a person forward when motivation disappears is a decision made in advance, a commitment that does not need to be remade every single morning. This is what you need right now, not a new app, not a better textbook, not a more interesting YouTube channel. You need a decision, one decision, made today, that from this point forward, English is not something you study. It is something you live. Nobody is coming to build this for you. Not your teacher, not this video, not the next video after this one. Only you can decide what language your thoughts run in. Only you can choose to narrate your morning instead of scrolling. Only you can catch yourself thinking in your mother tongue and gently, firmly redirect in English again and again. It will feel strange at first. It will feel slow. Some days you will forget entirely. Some days you will start strong and drift by noon. That is fine. That is expected. That is how every new road gets built. Imperfectly. With gaps. With wrong turns. But forward. The commitment is not to be perfect. The commitment is to come back. Every morning. Every commute. Every quiet lunch. Every moment before sleep. Come back to English. Come back to the voice in your head. Come back to the decision you made today. One day, and this day will come. If you do the work, you will be in a conversation with someone. You will be answering a question, or telling a story, or making a point. And somewhere in the middle of it, you will notice something. Or rather, you will notice the absence of something. There will be no lag, no search, no translation happening behind your eyes. The words will just be there, ready, natural, yours. That day is built from the ordinary moments you choose to use starting now. Don't translate, just think. One decision. The whole thing right here. Let us bring it together. 6 lessons. 1 shift. Lesson 1. Your brain translates because that is the road it knows. The habit, not the vocabulary, is what holds you back. It is a habit problem, and habits change when you replace them one moment at a time. Lesson 2. Narration. Run a quiet English commentary on your life as it happens. Your morning, your commute, your evening. Describe what is in front of you before your mother tongue gets the chance. Lesson 3. Labeling. Name what you see. Name what you feel. Not the blurry word, the specific one. Restless, not bad. Relieved, not fine. The more precisely you name your world, the more clearly you see it. Lesson 4. Inner monologue. Take the voice in your head and give it a new language. Start with short self-reminders. Move to questions, then to full conversations with yourself. When you can doubt yourself in English, you are thinking in English. Lesson 5. Habit stacking. Do not look for extra time. Attach English to what you already do. Your alarm, your toothbrush, your commute, your lunch, your last minutes before sleep. 5 anchors every single day. Lesson 6. The commitment. Decide today, not when things calm down, not when you feel ready. Today, make the decision that English is no longer a subject you study. It is a mind you are building. The mind that thinks in English is not a better mind. It is a freer one. Which of these 6 lessons will you start today? Tell me in the comments below. I read every one. And if this video helped you, share it with one person who is working on their English. One person who needs to hear that fluency is not about how many words you know. It is about which language you choose to think in. Keep listening every day. For English learners who stay consistent, the mind shifts quietly, and one day the language is just there. See you in the next lesson. Keep going.